Madam Chair, ED, that ang mandato po ng AMLC ay hindi lamang basta tumingin sa mga bank accounts, kundi mag-analyze na rin, no? Mag-analyze na rin ng mga yung tinatawag na red flag indicators o yung mga kahina-hinalang transaction, no? As you have explained to us earlier, na posible may pumapasok na hindi sa tamang hinahide, no? Or ang tawag na hinahide, yung tinatago na galing sa hindi illegal na sources at ito'y pretending to be uh, ni ano no nilalabahan o ni launder no para ipakita tama. So the only way for you to do that is there also for you to analyze certain inflow in or inflow of money no in certain bank accounts that would tend to uh, make you realize based on your assessment that this might also cover or indicate some red flag indicators. Tama po ba?
Tama po. Nabanggit niyo po yung mandato ng EMLC and ang mandato po niya ay panatilihin ang integridad ng financial system natin na dapat malinis ang financial system natin. At isa sa pinakamahalaga o hindi man pinakamahalaga sa gawain namin ng EMLC ay ang mag-analyze ng mga transactions at aksyonan kung ano man ang makita tungkol dito.
Okay, so when you do the analyzation of the red flag indicators, kasi mayroon din kayong sinasabing, may terms na sinasabi na covert transaction and yung sinasabi nating suspicious transactions. And this is by way of analyzing yung sinasabing kung may red flag indicators ba at kung wala, no? So can you, no, for the benefit again of this committee and perhaps the general public, can you try to define ano po yung pagkakaibahan pag sinabi mong covert transaction at saka sinasabi mong suspicious transactions?
Am I allowed to speak na lang po in Filipino sa mas
Oh yeah,
madali
oo
po
naman.
maipaliwanag?
Mas maganda
So-
magpaliwanag ka na lang. Ako, hindi nga ako Tagalog, pero nagtatagalog ako para maintindihan ng ating taong bayan. So, feel free to explain it in Filipino,
Sa
Madam Chair.
yung covert transaction po sa konteksto ng financial institutions or particularly for banks, ito ay ang transaksyon na mahigit sa 500,000 piso or 500,000 sa loob ng isang araw. Automatic po itong nire-report ng mga bangko sa EMLC. Yun naman pong suspicious transactions ay mga transaksyon na wala namang o hindi kailangan na may na mataas o mababa sa particular na halaga, so kahit anong halaga siya, pero ang bangko ay may nakikita na kaduda-duda or may nakita siya na kahina-hinala or parang kakaibang red flag doon sa galaw ng transaksyon na yon, sa account na yon. Kapag ganun po, nire-report din siya sa amin.
So mayroong hindi kumbaga hindi malinaw or naligal na basihan, no? O kahina-hinala yung flow nung pumapasok at lumalabas na pera, tama po ba?
Apo, so halimbawa po
Yun po
niyan,
yung sinasabi nating suspicious
yes po.
transaction, tama.
Apo.
Yeah, would you like to
Ay,
further explain?
Opo, magbigay lang ako ng halimbawa kasi sa Section 3 ng batas, mayroong mga enumeration po doon. Isa doon ay kapag meron kang pumapasok o lumalabas na pera sa account mo, pero hindi malinaw kung ano ang pinanggalingan or saan nanggaling.
Okay. So when you do the analyzation, para ma-determine nyo whether this transaction covers yung sinasabing suspicious transaction, do you analyze it based on certain personalities? Halimbawa, na involved doon sa, let's say, in certain bank deposits? Do you rely on personality or do you simply just analyze these transactions based on, based on the inflow of the money and the outflow of the money, based on the data and the number of the transactions involved?
So, hindi po kami namimili ng personality. Ang tinitignan po namin dito ay yung data at yung numbers. So, ang titingnan namin more than the people behind is ano ba yung movement, flow, frequency nung daloy ng pera at kung meron bang kakaiba dito sa daloy na to. So, hinahabol po namin yung pera, hindi yung tao sa likod ng pera.
So makatwid, you do not bother yourself with personality, no? Who may be involved in this suspicious transaction na sinasabi mo, whether the account is an account of a high-ranking official or a clergyman or anybody for that matter, no? Hindi kayo doon nagbabase doon sa kung sino yung holder ng bank account na ito, but rather you are actually following the inflow and outflow of these transactions, particularly the bank deposits in the outflow of this money, that actually has a certain, that gives you question that this is not, has no legal basis whatsoever, and this could probably be part of the suspicious transaction kasi walang ma-explain na po pwedeng pagkunan. Tama po ba?
Tama po. We apply our processes uniformly. Hindi po kami tumitingin sa personality or sa kung sino man. Ang tinitingnan lang namin dito is, meron bang kakaiba dito na dapat pagtuunan pa ng investigasyon?
So you don't direct actually your examination based on a certain political direction, but you follow where the money trails, where it will direct you. Tama ba?
Tama po yun.
Okay. So ibig sabihin, Madam Chair, it is very clear to say that your participation here does not dictate any political consideration, no? But you are actually here by virtue of the invitation of the committee, would also like to, explain to the committee some certain transactions that are in question that are covered by the complaints filed before the Committee on Justice. Would that be correct?
Tama po, tama po.
Okay, sige. So, very clear po, Madam Chair, just to lay the premise na baka itong hearing natin na ito is just we are dealing with a certain personality kasi ang respondent natin, ang Vice Presidente, ay baka sabihin ng iba na we are doing this precisely to, to direct towards a political objective, no? But based on the explanation of AMLA, with their participation in this committee, they are not, number one, they are not confined with, boxing